Hello and welcome. My name is Machiavelli, and here are my picks for UFC 321. Alexander Rakic versus Azamat Murzakanov. I'll be honest, I have not been paying too close attention to this fight, and I'm not exactly expecting this one to be amazing or exciting by any means. The thing is, these two guys are somewhat inactive, so it's a little bit hard to gauge where each guy is, so to speak. I know it's pretty easy to write off Rakic just because he's on a 3-fight losing streak and has been fairly inactive himself, but the thing you have to keep in mind is that comparatively speaking, he has fought better competition and has been fairly competitive in his losses. The size discrepancy is something to make note of, but I'm not exactly sure it will be such a big factor in this fight. I mean, these two are big, beefy dudes, but clearly Rakic is the taller guy. He has the bigger frame for this division, whereas Murzakanov is just size maxing. I think in a fight like this, Murzakanov is going to have to push the pressure. He's going to have to be aggressive, engage first. He's probably going to push Rakic against the fence, clinch, throw some knees, that sort of thing. Murzakanov is the more explosive guy, I would say. I mean, there used to be a time where we would say, oh, Rakic is such a good striker. He has that one-hit power. He would put you out. But then we know how it goes. He got injured, and ever since he came back, he's been a little bit more patient and not exactly finishing material. Whereas Murzakanov, he seems like he just has all that coiled up energy just ready to explode on you. Pause. Rakic is the younger guy, and there can always be a chance where he makes his comeback. The run starts now, Dom Reyes-esque vibes. But I think this is sort of his last chance, quote unquote, to be talked about as a serious contender. Whereas Murzakanov, people are like, oh, he's the dark horse of the division, whatever. Either way, I think it might be safe to say Murzakanov will get this done by finish. Alexander Volkov versus Jailton Almeida. Alright, this fight is a little bit different. This one I have been paying attention to, and low-key, I'm excited for this fight. It could end up being a little uneventful. It could be boring and not exactly memorable, but I am willing to be that guy. I think Volkov is going to win this fight by knockout. Volkov is such an interesting case, man. If you don't really know his history, this is one of the very few guys in the UFC who not only became a world champion outside the promotion, but once he did enter the UFC, right now currently he has a winning record and he has fought the best of the best. Yes, he's not a champion, and I don't necessarily think he will ever become a UFC champ, but we can't deny that his skills have been improving over the years. He is a crafty vet, but he is getting better and better with his fights. I mean, just look at his performance against Cyril Gane. Jailton, we already know what his game plan is. I don't want to call him a one-trick pony, but I mean, it's pretty telling what he's going to do. He's going to do that front kick and then just leap into a double leg, try and take Volkov down. And in the past, Volkov has struggled with the takedown defense because he's so big, tall, and lumbering. It could just be easier to get a hold of his legs and drag him down to the canvas. But if you compare his physique over the years, he has been building into his size as he's grown older. He's heavier, his takedown defense is more well-rounded, but he's still susceptible to it. Jailton will be relentless, but that will be his downfall. It's going to play out very similar to the Curtis Blades fight. I think Volkov is going to stuff the initial takedowns. He might be able to land his own counters, catch Jailton as he enters. He might be able to gas Jailton out if he is relentless with the takedowns, but he is too big and heavy to be taken down. He will win the fight. Knockout. I know I sound super confident hours in before this fight, but it can totally and easily go the other way, where, as I just said, Giles is going to be relentless. Once he grabs a hold of him, he is not going to let go for anything, and it just so happens we're in Abu Dhabi, right? So there won't be any stand-ups, but we'll see. This is a good underdog pick. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Bautista. Quite simply, I think Umar is going to win this fight by a competitive, maybe slightly controversial, unanimous decision, but I think he's going to show off pretty good improvement from his fight with Merab 2 right now. Pretty much my entire basis on this pick is simply that the patchy mix win didn't really age too well for Mario. I mean, Mario's striking did look good, and this is what I mean. I think Mario might be able to catch Umar, not necessarily wobble or stun him, but he's gonna land enough to earn points and for the judges to be like, oh, this fight is kind of competitive. That's what I'm expecting, but we know how it goes. Umar has improved everywhere. He has better threats of takedown, which is going to increase his chances of landing something big on the feet. It's pretty clear that if Umar wins this fight, he's probably going to be pushed into a rematch with Merab. So I think all this pressure and this narrative is going to help Umar, I guess you could say. But it would be pretty funny if Mario were to take that opportunity away from him. Verna Jandiroba versus Mackenzie Dern. This fight is such a waste of time. I'm not trying to be a contrarian. I don't care if I sound like this or that. Mackenzie Dern is super overrated. We know she has a big fat ass. She's athletic. People like to goon, and I get all that. But she is not a good fighter. Anytime she has faced any good steps of competition in the women's division, she has lost. She's been battered and beaten. Okay, yes, she has beaten Verna, which doesn't really help my argument, and I'm gonna look so stupid if Mackenzie flukes her way to becoming the world champion of this dead division. She is going to lose this fight. Verna has improved. She's actually a skilled women's fighter, and I think she's gonna win. Verna Jandiroba by any way she wants. Let's just move on. Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. Maybe it's just me, but there's really not that much hype on this card. Both of these two dudes are inactive. The heavyweight division is dead. John Jones is the GOAT. I don't really know what to say. We know that Tom Aspinall is probably going to run through Cyril Gane. I'm picking Tom Aspinall by first round submission, if not a knockout. But that doesn't mean I think he's the better fighter. I think, in fact, Tom Aspinall is quite overrated. We know some of the narratives. He leaves his chin wide up in the air. He doesn't have 25-minute experience, so in theory, he could be vulnerable to that. Whereas Cyril Gane, he honestly has faced some pretty powerful strikers like Francis Ngannou and Derek Lewis, who hit harder than Tom Aspinall, and he's weathered the storm, so to speak. If this fight is to go past the 90-second mark and these two really stand and trade, I think Cyril is going to catch Tom. I don't think it's going to be consistent or on every single exchange, but if Tom is to overextend himself, Cyril's going to catch him. Punch 3, 4, 5, these extended combinations. Cyril is the cleaner, more technical striker, so to speak. However, Cyril falls under that same trap so many other quote-unquote champions do. He's inactive, entitled, wants to sit around, pick and choose his fights, wait for big opportunities, so to speak. This guy had a very terrible performance against Volkov, a guy who he beat quite comfortably years prior. And he can say that he's been working on his ground game. We know he has some crafty leg locks that will never work on a guy like Tom Aspinall. But what he really needs to work on is his get-ups, his sweeps and scrambles, right? I don't think he's going to be strong enough to get up if Tom fully takes him down and plants his weight on him. I wish I could say more about this fight. I wish I could be more excited about this and to have put more effort into this video. But if we're being completely honest, we know that Francis still owns this division. He owns the heavyweight belt. He is the current, undefeated, undisputed, baddest man in the world for mixed martial arts. The only issue is that Francis himself is inactive and doesn't fight. Quite literally, if Francis fights once a year, he could literally knock out some bum they get off the street, and I would still sit here and glaze. I would say that Francis is the undisputed heavyweight king, that he would beat all these other fraud champions, that sort of thing. But we know that Francis has been a little bit preoccupied with his shenanigans down in Cameroon, with his motorcycle insurance and the fact that he doesn't want to play ball with the PFL. But I digress. Tom Aspinall is going to win this fight. This is going to be filler. And I don't know what to say. In conclusion, these will be my picks for UFC 321. I can't lie though, the rest of this card is pretty good, and I think some of these fights are going to have spectacular results. I do wish I put a bit more effort into this video because I'm cooking on my point about Francis, but it doesn't really matter, man. The fights are going to be in a few hours. I just wanted to pump this out as always. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for tolerating me. Hopefully I'll see you all next time for UFC 322. Bye.